Hello and welcome to FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is Friday, November 2nd, 2012. Well, we're having some action today, biggest amount of action we've seen in a little while. The Euro down about 106 pips, pushing down to the lower 128 range, which we kind of anticipated it would do at some point here. There's some pretty decent support down here around the 128, 128.10 area. So we're getting down to that level now. And then we should probably stop and bounce back up. And we can kind of see that down here in the stochastics where we made a low there and now we're running down. We'll probably make a new low in the stochastics and then rally back up. And more than likely we'll take out these highs up here. Still looking for it to get up to the 135 level. Which is really up about in here. So if we could run up to there, that would kind of complete this pattern, and we may have a base built in which to move higher, or we could fall off from there. Now here we are 2 days into the new month, and we've already retraced almost all of last month's range, I guess you could say, at least from the open to the close of the month. We're just bouncing right along that minor trend line that we have drawn in here, or channel line, upper channel line. So it could very well sell off from here. That's a very, very good possibility. Now, in order for us to run higher, we would have to close the month of November at 135 or thereabouts. And then we could go to about 144, 145. But as it's looking right now on this longer term chart, still looks fairly bearish. There's no indication longer term that we're going to do that. Now if we close this month below last month's lows, that would be very, very bearish, which would put us down really about 125 area, 124, 125. If we closed, I'm sorry, well, about 127, 128, if we close down below that range for the month of November, then we will certainly take off and go down to the 116 area as time goes on here. We'll make our way down to that. Now the pound doing something similar but acting slightly independent. That's down about 96 points, just above 160, and we're now in the same range that we have been in for pretty much the last month. And we're starting to fail here where we should be rising. We had this little bottom here, then we had this bottom, then we had this kind of thing, and we should have really have rallied up from here. And it seems as though we're having some difficulty doing that. So if we base out down here around 159, 159.50, between 159.50 and 159.90 area, and then rally back up, then there may have some strength to this larger bull run that we had back here. Otherwise, it's going to fade and fall back. Now here on the weeklies, we can see last week was our first up week in 4, and now this week we're going to close the week down again. So it's not looking like there's a whole lot of strength as we go further out in time here. And as we get lower and lower, get below this minor trend line, there's going to be more and more momentum to sell off. Now on the monthlies, we can see how we ran up for 2 months, and now this month and last month we just got some very small ranges. Of course this month's only 2 days old, but depending on how we close this month out will really determine whether we can get any more of a rally here and get up to about 167, 166 area. Now in order for us to do that, we would have to close above September's highs, which is really just about 160, about 163. So we would have to close above that this month in order to rally up. If we fail, then it's going to go back down to this trend line, which is now about 157, and ultimately it will probably break that because that'll be the 4th time there, and there really isn't that much support there anymore. So longer term, this market's still going to go to 125, 130, but in the meantime we could rally to 167 or so. Swiss franc having a very nice day, or actually the dollar having a very nice day against the Swiss franc. It is up about 80 pips right now, biggest day that we've really seen in a while, and rallying and going to close above the most recent highs. It's very bullish. Looked like for quite a while that we would be stuck in a range very much like we were back here, and would end up being in that range for several months, and we still might be. It may take us well into the end of the year, and then we could see a rally longer term. Here it is on the weeklies, and we can see how this area back here we consolidated for several months, and here we are already a month and a half into this consolidation. So it is possible we could bounce around in here for a while and eventually then turn around and go up. The monthlies still looks about the same. We rallied up off of the spike low, fell back a little bit, rallied up again. Now we've fallen back again a little bit, and we're starting to consolidate here. So this month and next month consolidation, and then probably January for the new year we rally up and more than likely take out this trend line, which is now hovering around 99 area. So we would need to close significantly above that, about 101, 102, to really start the a new upward trend and end this downward trend that we've been in for the last 12 years. US dollar against the Japanese yen performing very nicely. Right now up about 30 pips, back up above 80, doing very nicely. We fell off last week and then the beginning of this week a little bit, and have since recovered. We're now going to close the week out above last week's highs, so looks very strong still. We got this Ichimoku pattern here, which is very positive, looking like we're going to rally quite a bit more. And same on the weeklies here, we're breaking out above this minor trend line just like we did back here. So this move now should take us well up above 86. That would be the next stopping point. So we probably got several weeks here, at least another 4 or 5, where we'll rally up and get up above 86. And here on the monthlies we can see how this month we need to close the month out above these highs from back here, which is 84.20. Very, very likely that's going to happen. We got some pretty good power going right now, and really looking forward to it jumping a little more and closing the month out up above there. Euro Swiss having a wild swing of a day, and rallied up quite a bit earlier in the session and has since fallen back. It was up above 120.80 again, but this week has just been a very, very bad week for it. And really the fact that we're closing down here around the 120, 60, 65 area is not very positive. Probably rally for another day or two into next week, beginning of next week, and then fall off. Really looks like now we're going to get back down in that 120.10 area, which may not be the end of the world. That'd probably be a good point at which to buy some, because probably going to rally up to around 124, 125 longer term. That's certainly the pattern that it's picking up to now. Euro yen, we're down slightly, about 45 pips today, still up above 103, but having difficulties here. We're grinding ever so slightly higher. This trend, this upward trend now, really is having difficulties rallying up anymore. We look at the weeklies, we're hitting up on this upward trend line around 104 now, 104, 105 area. So if we did rally anymore, it would be probably short-lived and getting us up to just around that 104.5, 105. And we can see here in the stochastics too how it's just grinding higher, having a lot of difficulty with any type of substantial rally. And on the monthlies now, well, we finished out last month fairly strong, so we've had 3 strong months in a row, and this market is very, very weak longer term. We got this huge downtrend going. We have this huge amount of damage back here. So more than likely, this market, any rallies will be met with some pretty good selling. So all in all, we meet those weekly targets up there around 105. Probably set up some good selling opportunities. On the monthlies, we could rally to 107, but longer term, this market's still heading down to the upper 80s, lower 90s. So really looking for that to happen, and looking for a good point at which to get short if we do rally up to around that 107 area. And even 105 would probably be a decent point at which to try and find some good selling opportunities on the daily and weekly charts. That is it for today and for this week. Hope you had an enjoyable trading week, and we will see you next week. Thank you.